Good morning and welcome to another Writer's Morning Commute with Ashton Gaskill. Talked about my outlining process a couple days ago, and the next big step for me is the actual writing. All the stuff I do before I actually sit down and write. Like, there's a lot of steps to what I do, and it just feels weird getting to the writing in what feels like such a short period of time. Like, I feel like there should have been more videos, but it is what it is. So, when I'm writing, I have a list of scenes all outlined, broken into 8 parts each. I have a target word count for each scene. Currently, how I'm working, I just have the same word count for every scene throughout the book. I think if I was being a little bit more, taking the time to be more artistic and attentive to detail, I might switch up that and give each individual scene its own target word count to kind of try to control the pacing better. But the way that everything comes together in the end, I'll get to this more later, but basically I take 2 scenes and combine them into a chapter, so every chapter is 2 scenes, and between the 8 parts of the scene and then the 2 scenes in a chapter, sometimes individual scenes will get bigger and shrink their companion scene, or certain parts of the scene will be longer. So there is, plenty of room there for a variation, and for what each individual scene needs. But anyways, back to the writing. I have my scene outline and the individual word count goal. So I can divide that word count goal by 8 and get a rough idea of what I should have accomplished plot-wise by certain word count targets. So I'm writing on Microsoft Word, and what I usually do is I take a t-shirt and I drape it over my laptop screen such that I can see my word count total, but I can't see what I'm writing. This stops me from becoming obsessed with, like, I don't go back and edit misspellings. I don't go back and edit at all, because as far as I know, what I've written is exactly what I intended to write, and I don't know what's wrong as far as typos or wording. I'll get the general idea of something down and be like, oh, can I word that better? Oh, I don't know if I could word that better, because I don't remember exactly what I wrote necessarily, and I definitely can't edit it without seeing it. So I don't do any editing while I'm writing, unless it's something really noticeable. But usually I try to limit it to things that I can do in my head. So if I write a word, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to write that word, I can count out the numbers backwards and hit backspace without having to actually see it. That's about the extent, though. I try to keep that t-shirt on the laptop screen so I can't see what I've written. For my most recent novella, the process after the writing has evolved over the 4 novellas that I've written so far. I really like the way I did it this last time, though. My basic idea was that the scenes were 1,000 words each as a target. And I know I have quite a bit of stuff to take out. I use more filler words than I should, though I'm getting better at that. And I have some other, repeating ideas issues in my first drafts. So I know that whenever I get to my editing, I'm going to be taking quite a bit of words out. So I purposefully overwrite past what I want the rough word count of the final scene to be. So what I'm started doing was going 10% over, so I was writing 1,100 words, and then adding scene, non-visual sensory details and emotion cues, kind of show, don't tell the character's emotional states on top of that. But I was getting like 1,500 word scenes, which is way too much words to cut. So I started doing with my most recent novella, which I liked a lot, was to go straight to the target word count goal of 1,000 words. Try to hit that as close as possible, then add 10% or 100 in this case of the non-visual sensory details. So what things smelled like, what things felt like, what things sounded like, to really help try to immerse into that setting, as well as 100, once again 10%, but in this case 100 words of emotion, internalization for the point of view character, or emotional tells for the other characters to try to help flesh them out. And that is basically my draft 1. So hopefully that gives you some insight. Thank you for writing with me. Have a great day.